Welcome, kindred spirits and first-time visitors. This video, we're going to take a walking tour around Boston, 4 days in under 18 minutes here on YouTube, and this is a time of early to going into mid-October, a beautiful time of year to visit Boston. I hope you enjoy. Even though Ben and I have grown up on the North Shore, really 25 minutes from Boston or so, these are locations that we have never been, so we are playing tourist in our own backyard. Now, we started at the USS Constitution. We didn't go on, but we did take a look at the boat, and then we went through the museum. And that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to give you some highlights about where we went and dinners. So if you're ever planning a trip to Boston, these are some things that we did. This is not sponsored, so you can know that what I'm sharing with you I did enjoy and my husband enjoyed. Now, this museum was full of interactive activities for children and adults. Of course, I liked seeing what the ship's store sold to people who were going on their long journeys. Now, we both have been in the area many times our whole life, walking around, so we were quite comfortable walking about, but we did follow the Freedom Trail for fun, and it will take you to some beautiful places within Charlestown and Boston to see some of the historic sites. Within this park, we came across information about Colonel William Prescott's regiment. Some of the men listed were from Groton, the town we moved from 4 years ago. While walking to Bunker Hill, we got to enjoy a little Halloween spirit here and there at a lot of the homes. We decided to go up and down some of the streets. Beautiful old homes can be found, along with small businesses and views of the Bunker Hill Monument here and there. One might think that Bunker Hill is in a very busy community, but it's not. It's in the quiet community of Charlestown, and it was a beautiful location. Here is a statue of Colonel William Prescott. He owned the land that Groton House was built on. There's a monument down near our home as well, or our old home, and he is the one that said, "Don't shoot until you see the whites of their eyes." While walking, don't forget to look around. You never know what you might miss. I enjoyed this little scenery right here. It's in the color palette that I really love. Green, white, taupes, blacks, and browns. It was perfect. One never knows when inspiration might strike, and I didn't realize that this walk would inspire me to buy 2 more skeletons and place them in front of our kitchen within the new garden fence that we just had built. Now, this was on Ben's wish list. We're heading to the Warren Tavern where George Washington once went to. But on the way, we found the house with a plaque on it that this Deacon Larkin house, he's the one that loaned his horse to Paul Revere. If you're looking for a very casual atmosphere, good food, a little history behind it, Warren Tavern should be on your list of places to check out. After walking a little bit more, we stopped for coffee and a brownie to share for the rest of the walk. We stopped at Tate. I didn't know how to say it, but on the cup it says like latte, so now I know. We parked down near the water, and once we got in the car, we drove to our hotel, which we could have walked to faster than we drove to, because we may have taken a little zig when we should have zagged. But once we got back on the road, we got to our hotel, we stayed at the Intercontinental, and it was really in a location that we could walk everywhere. There's a lot of hotels down in that area. That evening, stepping right outside the back door of our hotel, there are restaurants right down the strip. We have Smith & Wollensky next to us, and our room is upstairs there, and across the way is where the Boston Tea Party Museum is, and we're on the harbor of where the Boston Tea Party was held. After a very light meal, and this 4-day excursion, we ate more than we really wanted to and should have, but it was delicious everywhere. We ended up going upstairs, 12th floor at our hotel. They have a lounge for guests that you can have little canapes and some wine or champagne or a little mixed cocktail. It's a self-serve. It's open until 9 o'clock, but we went up to grab a little dessert. I looked out the window, and this is our view from the 12th floor. And what I liked is they had a record player going. Boston and Bee Gees kept playing over and over. The next morning, same thing. They had some music going and got to enjoy a breakfast overlooking the city. We decided to walk to Beacon Hill today, go do some sightseeing there, including the Beacon Hill bookstore. The Beacon Hill area consists of a lot of beautiful streets that you can go up and down. They're full of beautiful homes. A lot of the homeowners take pride in their window boxes, their front steps, out front, and there's some beautiful courtyards. It is a beautiful area to walk. On the day we were walking, unfortunately, it was trash pickup day, so there were barrels everywhere, boxes, and construction, including the famous Acorn Street. I wanted to give you a shot of this. I have some beautiful photos that I have in other videos, but there were cars parked and construction on this street as well, so this is as good as I got. We walked down the street a little bit. I loved how this house had a little baseball theme, and over the front door, baseballs spelt out the word October. Now, I forgot to mention earlier that this little 4-day excursion was for an early birthday present for me. We were going to go to Martha's Vineyard or Nantucket or Cape Cod and do something like we do each year, but we wanted to do something local. And when I say we, kind of me, I wanted to do some historic visits and look at sites that I haven't been to, including the Beacon Hill bookstore. They've been around for about 3 years, but what grabs my attention is the detail that was put into this property. I watched a video on the homeowner, and she moved to the area, realized there was not a bookshop on Beacon Hill, and decided to create one. The interior is based on her own home, which is on Beacon Hill. There's items that were taken from her home to decorate, and it was just a location I really enjoyed seeing. It was visual eye candy for sure. Ben grabbed this book for us to read. I'll let you know what we think. Once again, the space is beautiful. It's simple yet elegant. The paint colors are all by Farrow & Ball. The fabrics and the wallpapers you're going to see are all by Sister Parish, so it has a nice cohesive flow here in the space. There are 4 floors to enjoy, including a floor for children's books, and there's also a section set aside for interior design, gardening, architecture, you name it. Of course, I beelined it to that area and I enjoyed some of the books there. Here's the children's level I spoke of, including little nooks and crannies for children to sit, and there's also a train in one of the front rooms for children to enjoy from below. There are many shops to enjoy on Charles Street. I happened to pop into Upstairs, Downstairs on our way back to the harbor because now we're going to be heading to the North End to go see Paul Revere's house. Back onto the Freedom Trail, it took us past some other historic sites, but right now we're walking through Faneuil Hall. We're going to cross the street and we'll be in the North End. Once again, the walking is very easy to do. It's long. I would definitely wear comfortable shoes. Now, I've taken many photos of the Paul Revere house over my lifetime and years, but this is the first time I got to go in. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to take photos inside, but it's amazing that this still stands. Now, it was remodeled at one point. It was modernized, and they took it back to what it once looked like. This is just a little glimpse of one of the displays within the museum after our tour. Several hours later, we're back on the Freedom Trail, heading to the waterfront. It is now lunchtime. We found a place called Joe's that is right on the water. Very casual dining. We found seating and had a nice lunch of chowder and some iced tea. Then we hopped back on the road, walking, a little bit more sightseeing. There's even payphones still available in Boston. I was taken aback by that. Then we headed back to the hotel, had some quiet time. Later, I got changed, dressed, put on some high heels, and then we went to the rooftop at the Envoy. Now, Ben did need to make reservations for this. I think there's an additional fee to sit where we're sitting because there was a lot of people who looked like they were there right after work enjoying another area that was blocked off. Fast forward to the next morning, we're heading to the Boston Tea Party Museum. Now it's our turn to be tourists, but Ben refused to throw tea overboard. I didn't either, but I should have because my 5th great grandfather was there doing just that. Once inside, they handed all the guests cards to play a certain role of somebody who was actually there. We were way in back. I was pleasantly surprised that my 5th great grandfather's card was still in the deck and I got to play him. I'm also glad I didn't have to role play that day. Truth be told, unless somebody gets to know me or I get to know them, I'm quite shy. Or I become the class clown trying to compensate for my shyness. I did not want to get called upon to play a role, and I was very relieved.
Purpose in mind. So, if you have come here to destroy the king's tea, say aye! Aye! If you come here to cast off this yoke of parliamentary tyranny, say aye! Aye! If you come here to be cauterized for treason, say aye! Aye!
Or buttons. I think he should make me another pair, but he has to work with John Hancock. Apparently, more important than me. There's always one person in a group. There's always someone that's going to get arrested. How many people do you think got arrested? 0, 1. You're right. There's Mr. Akeley. Woo! There we go. Mr. Akeley, how long do you think you wait before you start bragging drunkenly in a tavern? That's because you're drunk. 3 days.
Now we're inside Abigail Adams' tea room, another very distant relative, some cousin or aunt. I don't even remember how, but anyways, I enjoyed some of the tea, and my friend Carla mentioned that she loved the green tea and was surprised. I have to say the same. I've always stayed clear of green tea unless it was mixed with something else, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Ben enjoyed it. It's full of caffeine, and we're going to slowly start to segue to having some green tea in the morning versus coffee. Let's see how that goes. After the museum, we decided to walk along the waterfront. Now, we knew there was a Boston Harbor walk. We had no idea that it was 43 miles, connecting towns that are on either side of Boston for people to walk back and forth and to enjoy. Needless to say, we only walked several of those miles, and it was within Boston. After a couple hours of walking, we stopped at John Hancock's old counting house for lunch, which is now the Chart House restaurant. After lunch, we walked around a bit more, enjoyed some quiet time at the hotel later in the day, had dinner at the hotel, woke up the next morning, had breakfast at the hotel, then returned home after a 4-day excursion in Boston in October, enjoying historic sites that we've been wanting to see. I will be loading the information about this trip on my blog soon, including the restaurants that we went to. But for now, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you later. Bye now.